just from here.
Yeah.
Okay. So I spoke with the school's legal, and he recommended a real estate specific legal firm based in Salida called Principal Law. And they have worked with schools, specifically charter schools, in real estate transactions.
Nice.
So has some experience there. I don't know which charter schools, I don't know what kind of land. And I stepped through the complexities of our situation. The different annexation options, either all 24, all with the county, all with town, prior to figuring out what the swap is, just swapping or just annexing the portion, the landfill, the easement for the safe routes, the mutual benefit to all, but questions by many. And her response was basically, wow, this is complicated. She brought up a few things that
This is the law firm.
this law firm, gal's name is Ashley. Miss Ashley. I don't remember what her first name was. Including if that there will probably be a need for evaluation of the two properties as well as surveying, obviously. I would imagine when Burt Wadman did the track one development plan, there maybe was surveying plot maps done at that point, but there's elevations and all kinds of, in that master plan, there's all sorts of details. So, and I know that portions of the charter school's 24 acres has also been, had some of the corners identified through the safe routes to school. I mean, I think this land has been looked at so many times that that step may already be done. Otherwise, we would need to contract with Davis Engineering or whomever to do the corner identification.
The lower land might need it, right?
Sorry?
The lower, the west, the land that the charter school owns would need it or not really?
No.
I think the corner that I would think are the two corners that I think are probably the least well documented is where the llama paddock comes to a corner with the L of the charter school. I don't know if that corner has ever been found. And then probably the front corner where Alder turns into Lime. I would think that corner, it's by a telephone pole somewhere, but fence line, but I think those two are probably the most.
I'm pretty sure that, I'm not 100%, but when we've done other annexes that you get we would have to have a survey, and then it would be plotted and,
Yeah, I don't know if you can even go off of the prior ones or if you have to do a new one for each new event. And then when it came to the landfill, she said even with the safe routes to school preliminary work that has been done, she would recommend that a phase one assessment get done and that she couldn't imagine that a phase two wouldn't be recommended by the phase one. All that told, surveying, assessing, phase one, phase two, annexation, if it's through the county, or subdivision through the county is $3,000 these days or something. She pulled up a number. I was like, oh, that sounds like a lot. But and I don't know if the commissioners would have any sort of a nonprofit scale rate or not, or if it's just the same amount for everybody. But the biggest dollar amount would be the phase one and phase two landscape or landfill.
I had to have that done. I think old gas station.
Okay.
And phase two.
Right. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It was a pretty extensive. Phase one is simple. Phase two is definitely.
Yeah.
like that thick.
Right, I mean, they're either doing groundwater downstream to see if there is anything leaching, or they're doing coring and or pitting and to
Right.
see what's actually down
There's a
there.
company out of Fort Collins that does those, so
Good.
CGRS.
Do you remember what it cost for the whole pump? That was 20 years ago.
No, it wasn't 20 years ago, it was like 10 years ago.
Her guess was in the 20,000,
Phase one was like 5.
right,
And then phase two was, yeah, was more.
15 or 20 more.
Yeah.
Right? So, all that said, just to get to the point of, let's pick some corners and talk about a swap. We're looking at $30,000 investment, give or take. And so the initial scope of work, I went ahead and paid for a $1,000 retainer for her to begin a scope of work contract. We haven't spent $1 of that 1,000. I could pull it back if this or I know this is a work session, so you guys can't make a decision, but I think it would probably need to go before the town itself to get at least a gentleman's agreement, you know, a handshake agreement that the charter school would front the initial money for this scope of work and make that a binding document. She said an MOU is maybe not binding enough, that we would want to go with some actual contract between the charter school and the town, stating something along the lines of the charter school will front the money, because I know town doesn't have it, or you know, to be able to get approval to do much with that. With the agreement that in the exchange, based on land valuations, that 30,000 would be compensated in the value of the land exchange. And if, I think she was looking at some sort of a safety net of, you know, what if 10 years down the road, there still is no swap and we're 30,000, the charter school, it's public money, right? It's not me, this is public money that we're talking about investing in a potential land swap. That there would be at least some exchange of property in, that is deemed fair. You know, I don't know what that would look like. Maybe it's a back strip of land to provide better access, but it's not really, doesn't really impact. Gives us a little connectivity and doesn't really impact your line. You know, we don't want the 30 feet of line access. That would not be fair. Although we would just have to determine that level of fairness. So that's what I would like to do, is this initial scope of work and contracting is in the, you know, $1,000 to $2,000 range. And prior to moving ahead on that, I would like to have some assurances that, assuming that this comes to be, that we would work in good faith to come up with some sort of an exchange, either an actual land swap or at least a compensation for expenditures.
So the full amount, 30 to 35,000, would be paid between the two groups,
Not necessarily.
not necessarily.
I mean, that would be great, then we wouldn't have to have a contingency of what if there's no swap, if we both contributed to the process.
And how long would that take? Do you think, how long would it take for the assessments, et cetera, before the swap? How long does it take to do an assessment?
Yeah, the phase one and phase two, they're pretty extensive.
Extensive.
It could be like 6 months to a year.
That's where my guess was, but
I mean, that's if you even need a phase two, you might not, I mean, phase one might be enough, and they
Yep.
would say, you know, it's an old enough dump per se.
I'm not concerned.
I have something to interject.
Mm-hmm.
If I may,
You can actually call this meeting, sorry, we can call it to order. How do we have?
Hold on. Got a quorum now.
Is that okay? You wanna do that or keep it a work session?
Yeah, and put it on the order, because then you can make decisions.
Ready? Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Will you call this the roll call, please?
Commissioner Chair Dupont,
Here.
Commissioner Byer,
Here.
Commissioner De Leon Guerrero.
Here.
And Commissioner Mamonakis is absent with. Notice. Sorry, absent with notice.
Okay, we need to approve the, so we have a quorum. We need to approve the agenda, which we have not written, but our agenda will be to work with. Oh,
And if you could add, Crestone Charter School.
okay, so we want to add the conversation with the charter school to our agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as amended.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so. We want to make, we want to, approve the minutes, which we don't have any minutes today. So bypass that. Okay, so, do we have any citizens' comments? Not yet.
What do you mean?
Well, she wants to comment on what we're talking about. You want to have her do that now? Go ahead.
Okay, so in the last meeting that our group had, we all agreed that it would make most sense to omit the duck from the exchange. It just takes that off the table and removes the complication having to do with dealing with it. So if we were to do that, that should hopefully shorten, the whole process, the amount of time and energy and resources involved, and we would take a smaller acreage for a smaller acreage. So if we do that.
I mean, was that something that you guys had talked about, or?
So when I talked with my,
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to ask that question. We're not really supposed to comment on citizens' comments, so.
Any other?
Let's hold that thought.
Yeah. Okay, so do we have any reports from anybody? No. Okay, so, the next order is new business, got it? So is there any new business? Consider this old business. We need to finish old business. Okay, so, let's have a discussion on those items.
should I keep going?
Yes.
So Sarah, just to catch you up.
Yes.
I spoke with a lawyer that specializes in real estate and including schools and school land transfers. And in order to do a complete land swap of all of track one for a portion of the charter school's 24-acre site, for due diligence could cost around $30,000 plus or minus $5. And Benjamin and I estimate, that may take up to a year. In Crestone, Davis Engineering, they've been pretty slow just to do plot maps to do the kiosk area, took a long time, so who knows? The last that I presented to my board, we did look at an option of a swap excluding the landfill, the rough area of the landfill. In exchange for a smaller portion of Lime Avenue adjacent frontage. We looked at a complete acre for acre, and we looked at a reduced acreage to the town in order to accept the liability of the landfill without investigation. Right, if we investigate it and it turns out clean, that's a win for you guys, then we're back to acre per acre, because it's all good land. If it comes up tainted into some degree, then that will probably diminish the acre per acre exchange. Town will end up with a little bit less under charter school. If they accept that level of contamination, we'll take the landfill, but at a reduced value. And that first example was we just fence it off, it stays town and, they said, you know, I proposed the idea that it's the back 40 acres, you know, I mean, that's land that's probably not going to get developed anytime soon anyway.
Right.
What if we assume it's bad, negotiate accordingly with you guys, do a little bit, you know, do an 8 for 10 or whatever the numbers are for a reduced acreage? And they basically said, no, no way. We need to either not take it or figure out what we are taking. And there, because of the continuity of the goal of continuity in the eventual swap, they haven't heard this dollar amount, but we're wanting to get the investigation work done. Now, when they hear this dollar amount, they may choose. So Sarah, before you came in, my request of the planning commission is a good faith commitment to move forward with the scope of work contracting with the lawyer in the range of a couple $1,000 that the charter school would pay for. With the agreement that at the end of that $2,000 contracting, we move forward with the $30,000 investigation with the agreement that in some way the charter school would be compensated in the scope of a full swap or just a swap to compensate for the 30,000, but some exchange. And that's, I think,
Is it possible to trade like 6 for 6 on the Lime Avenue portion? And, so that so that anything can happen there, something can happen there, rather, and then save the other section for after, 6 months to a year, a possible exchange, so that things can be done there. Is that possible? That way, clearly the school has what they want, at least in the beginning, and then you will extend it if we find out that that's usable land for more activities. Is it possible to do that? How long would that take?
I mean, the main thing is, again, I still think, and I'm not 100%, but there's still gonna have to be some kind of subdivision and some kind of annexation.
and plotting that goes with that, and so there's some duplicated costs to duplicate the process. But I don't think that's like, I did look in my notes, the lawyer said the county subdivision process was a $2,000 application fee. But her question was, what's town?
Not that much.
So,
And obviously we could,
right, it could be thrown into the deal and we're just doing a set off throughout the whole process of we paid this and you had an in-kind contribution of
so
that.
that'd be a question for Ariel to look up at some point, cost of subdivision.
Joey, you think of the schedule right now?
Cost of subdivision and cost of annexation. I did look at the annexation guidelines
That was already on.
that you guys sent at the end of the last meeting. And the criteria that I thought was the most uncertain was it has to be contiguous to current town land at a 6-to-1 ratio, and either the full 24 or just the portion internal, the front side.
That's not on.
It's within that 6-to-1, so for that.
Yeah, it would be the front.
Yep.
Probably the north side and the
Correct,
east end
yeah.
would be
And so,
planned.
yeah.
That comes up when you have like pieces that are.
Yeah, you don't want these flagpole annexations,
Well,
right?
flagpole is okay. Flagpole is okay if you can do it right. It's when you have like just like a corner hitting a town or something like that, then you have to have more land filterings. Yeah, and that's. The POA borders town on all along there, but nobody could annex any other properties into town until that POA strip would be annexed.
Oh,
It's not-
yeah, in terms of the
Ordering,
yeah,
ordering.
bringing town into. So,
Yeah.
I think there's potential, or are we looking this up right now, annexation?
Yeah, annexation is $500 plus cost. And subdivision application is $500. Also says $200 per lot. So-
Got one big lot.
Oh, sorry, it's that's proposed, but it is currently $500.
Okay.
But obviously that's,
Right, we could roll it in some way.
Yeah.
negotiable.
So how long would that take? In terms of, agreeing on this piece of land. Without the dump area. The larger areas close to the school and then close to the Lime Avenue. And being able to, annex and subdivide that.
So the road, is that any of the road in that dump area, the road that runs through the center of track 1, track 2?
And it's at the bottom of it.
I don't,
No, that's.
I don't think so, I know what you're talking about,
Oh.
the kind of, the separates the
Yeah, like a
two
yin yang.
properties, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe that. The landfill clearing is all.
Be interesting
Rest of
to,
that.
be interesting to measure that versus the road that you guys proposed, which ran along this Llama property at the east side of it, and then ran along the south side of it, and see if those matched somehow,
Uh-huh,
because then that,
so a road right of way for a road right of way and
Exactly.
and the frontage for frontage.
right. And then, obviously, the frontage, I don't know how much land there is that's the little narrow piece on track 1, that, what that actually equals. It's probably gonna go
We're
like,
gonna look on that spreadsheet.
right, it's
to
probably gonna go
look
from like that to like something really narrow on the other. Cause it's wider on your property on the road line side.
Don't you have a computer program for that?
Yeah, I can look at.
So it is possible, the only thing is that safe routes to school thing would, it still doesn't make a clean break.
Right.
But it would save the environmental stuff down the road, because then, we could wait until there's like the right timing to do it. And
Right, or to pursue the brownstones piece.
That's 3 to 4 years.
And is Eden online, my board member?
Oh, what?
no,
No, I don't see.
Okay. She did speak with McCracken
Yeah,
and also looked it up online. I don't know if you guys have looked much into it, but we researched that, and her online research made it seem like it was only mitigation. Whereas Tom McCracken felt that it was also assessment. So there's a difference in, but their county is actually running the process.
yeah.
And Tom says it's assessment as well as mitigation, so he may know better, but she couldn't find out.
what do you mean by that, I'm sorry,
Tom McCracken,
Is doing
the
something.
county is doing a
Oh.
brownfield.
Brownfield's
grant
out
application For the White Eagle,
for the White Eagle.
for the White Eagle.
Gotcha.
And so he was saying that it is both assessment of the White Eagle and demolition if approved.
Gotcha.
Whereas online, Eden could only find the demolition portion, not the
Right.
assessment portion.
Plus, there's a lot of, blue tape on that. It's a lot of time. Cause you're sending an application, then you have to wait to be on a list. Yeah, it could take 3 years, 4 years.
One other thing, where I grew up in Evanston, they had this park called James Park, and it had this mountain called Mount Trashmore. And it was like literally the same thing, an old trash dump that they turned into a sled hill. And everybody loves it. I mean, it's like the most amazing thing, because it's just like, you could go out there and train, run, you have like a little mountain.
That's kind of perfect right there.
I mean, it looks like when you go out there, I could totally see a little sled hill being there. But I wonder if there's even like, grants or something where you could take like an old trash hill, probably still have to go through the whole
Yeah,
phase 1, phase 2 thing. But it'd be really cool to turn that into some kind of fun area. I mean, it's so clear, there's nothing really growing there. It's.
Right, I mean, there's,
Kids are always.
before my education career, I studied environmental geology and probably for 30,000, well, of course, now 30,000 wasn't just the assessment piece, but you put a clay layer and a water permeable fabric and 2 feet of soil and fill on top. And it, you can't put a foundation through it, but you can certainly garden, you can do a lot. You can play volleyball, you can do a lot of things on top of a properly capped unknown.
Skateboard.
But again, my board, well, yeah, skateboard park, my board or community center, was not open to that idea initially, but they would like to know.
Sure.
Well, I think knowing is gonna settle everybody's minds, but I don't think it's necessary for an initial trade. And I think that an initial trade is really important. So deciding upon the amount of acreage or, I mean, footage or whatever
I think the
is the
main
next step.
thing too would be like if we were gonna get it surveyed and plotted out that, we figure out the boundaries of that site. And add that into the survey.
So kind of a phase 1, phase 2
Yeah.
survey.
Right, do it right off the bat, there's no reason, have that settled, so that you know where it is, how much acreage it is, and then,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Michael 13, we haven't really,
No, I've seen your name.
but anyway, we walked the site and looked at the extension of land heading right straight out Alder. And identified certain areas that would be buildable. And what I was looking at, just calculated just now, was where the division from the main part of the meadow and that L. Just that L portion is about 5 acres, and that's all we would need.
5 acres, oh, I see.
So it's a nice convenient division point and
Mhm.
just.
I'd say 5, 6.5 acres. Okay.
You mean that section there, well, so,
It's still.
There was talk-
I'm talking about the line avenue,
no, so if you take Alder, if you continue that out,
yeah,
we were talking about. Having a possibility for like an L-shaped road that kind of goes around the private property.
Okay, that would be part or cut out of that, what I'm calling
Right.
5 acres.
Right, and that's why I was trying to say, like, we should figure out how much the road access, because there is a road access. In between track 1 and track 2, which is charter school land and track 1. And so there is this road access, so figuring that out could be simple
yeah,
to. To look at, like, that would be the beginnings of the trade, basically, like we said, easement for easement.
so how do you do that? Who does
Well,
that?
everything has to be done kind of at once, I don't think anything can be done just like sporadic, like,
Right,
but that would be something that he could bring to his board and talk about. That would probably be the first step towards like, an, equal, might be that the road between is less or more, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it has to be measured out.
My next board meeting is on the 18th, I think, is the Wednesday. So I can use that computer program and play around with it, draft up some version of frontage for frontage, road for road, and we just off the cuff. My thinking is that whole zigzag
yeah,
road access, whatever that was, easement, would be vacated.
Mhm.
Right?
The one that goes through the 2 properties?
Yeah, that Z,
Yeah, it would I mean, that,
because we would for sure vacate the front portion of it, but we would be trading the whole thing. Okay,
Right.
I'll play around with it and see what I come up with, I'll present that to my board, and then when I come here, if there is there will be some version of, no, we wanna go ahead with the full swap or not,
Mhm.
versus just the frontage swap. And
Can you
whether
do
that's
that?
acceptable.
Sorry. Can you do that a little after the 18th, so look, we can work on it between the 19th or 20th to the first of the next month? So by the first of the next month, we have something more concrete. Is that possible? I know, I'm like, we could work together on that. What I mean is that we can meet maybe one more time and see what happened with your board meeting. And so you wanna consult with us or contact us after your board meeting and let us know about that.
Um. Sure, I mean, it's. If somebody from the planning commission would like to sit with me while I play off the computer program, then that's fine. And, we gotta start somewhere,
Yeah.
and so yeah, having some help with that, sure, great. But I think in the end, my impression from last time was, well, the town is interested and will get value out of the land swap. You guys are not in a hurry. And so I feel a little bit, so I wonder if that means I need to get my board's approval before we come to you guys with anything, but if you want to.
So I think it's,
I do it.
the land that we have is already town, it's already, there's, drawn out, it's
Right.
really clear. The land that you guys have is not as clear as far as like, it's not town yet,
Right,
it's not zoned yet,
right,
not subdivided, so I mean, it kind of comes from you guys, really,
I think so.
And then the fact that you have this, thing with the environmental, that's a whole nother
Yeah.
element,
But if I present to them frontage for frontage and they're like, no way, the whole thing or none, then we're sort of,
right,
I don't wanna waste your time on that. Let me just throw something together as much
Yeah.
as I can that I think is fair. If that is clean land for clean land, that would be acre
Yeah,
for acre with the only complication, this easement for a road.
a leverage point from the town's point
Sure.
of view, it would be something like, if you told your board, like, how would it feel to have a road running like right through the center of
Oh, yeah,
your property?
as Bert did great work on track one, track one would be highly impactful to the charter schools.
Yeah.
Culture,
Yeah.
for sure.
So,
Mhm.
Yes,
I mean,
I got that.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that, we're ever gonna build that road or anything like that, but I do feel like, you guys having that would.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not.
Right, it's like getting your neighbor to consolidate.
Right.
That's a good thing for.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So,
right,
but I think the town would go either way. I seriously think that we could work with you on an IGA or whatever we need to do to figure out that environmental thing. Or figure out some kind of preliminary phase one trade. And then
Okay.
phase two later. Something like
And
that.
so does that need to go to the town board to?
It would, yeah, a proposal,
Great. So, but based on that, I don't know where we are on the lawyer's docket, but I will find that out and have her move forward with this initial scope of work. Although I may put the brakes on that a little bit, because if it is a frontage to frontage, it's a much simpler
yeah,
scope of work.
Right.
So maybe I do wait until the 18th before I have her move forward
right,
on the two pathways.
Yeah.
And
Maybe do some sketching on
Yeah.
your thing and just
Yeah.
see if we took out the things.
yeah, excellent. Anything
And then as
else?
far as like the community center, I mean, I think you guys should be moving along with figuring out how you're gonna get your entity set so that cause I mean, there's no way you're gonna get grants if you're not like an official entity and a plan. I don't know if that
Entity,
matters.
like design plan.
No, entity being like, are you gonna be like a district, recreation district, or are you gonna be nonprofit? Or are you gonna, how are you gonna? Cause right now you're just kind of like group of concerned citizens. Who
Yeah.
have a great idea, but at the same time, it doesn't really, you can't do anything
We have to formally zone it and district it and.
Formally, cause you just have to become something.
Yeah.
Or have a fiscal agent, you know,
Yeah.
perhaps Exceed or somebody like that might act as fiscal agent for
Right.
Yes.
either you be a nonprofit or under the umbrella of another nonprofit.
Yeah, yes, and we're ready to do that,
Efforts in that direction already.
yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
Thank you for your time.
Sarah, anything?
No, I missed the last meeting, so I'm coming up to speed quick here, I'm trying to figure out what priorities.
And I don't know, she's, Sarah's the one that did the sheet, I don't know if you got it, like all the different resource sheets she came up with for the annexation stuff, it was pretty
Kind
extensive.
of like April.
The annexation document.
The one that you sent me.
Yeah.
Correct.
So she did a lot of research. Just get an idea at least.
Is there any other old
Oh,
business?
one comment, hopefully not to dilute the momentum, but have you looked at line redistribution or lot line adjustment as an option if the subdivision has become off limits? Just a plan C.
Lot, line, what?
A
How does
lot
that,
line
how does
adjustment.
that work?
That's for the county. And I wanna say, I probably should have more research, I didn't know it was gonna cover. Two landowners readjust the lot lines,
Okay,
so it's not officially a subdivision.
that's what would happen then, right?
The problem is that the land that's the 25 acres below is not in the town.
Not in, yeah, not included.
Not a subdivision, okay.
It has to be subdivided, or it has to be subdivided into the town, annexed into the town, subdivided. Wait, I think it has to go annexation first and then subdivision. If they subdivide with the town, if they subdivide with the county, it could be subdivision and annexation.
Oh,
Correct.
wow,
Greg, I don't think you were here last time, but currently there is a moratorium on county subdivision.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping, not.
Which, some people are saying they clear within the 6 months to a year.
yeah, I think Tom said that last time.
If they write the new rules and.
Okay, anything else?
So, yeah, that's a lot,
Good, thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
thank you.
Tom, Thomas,
yeah.
thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
So shall we adjourn? I'm gonna have a motion to adjourn, does that do,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
okay, all in favor? Aye. Aye. The meeting is adjourned.
Sarah,
Thank
second.
you
I
again.
did second and I.
Oh, did you second?
Second and I.
Come on.
I did second and I. Second I. Second I. God.
I kind of moved through these things very fast.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I was gonna say, I was like, honestly, if we could do this side, I can make this side every time.
Yeah, no.
My thing is, it's
Bye.
been challenging, well, that's.
I think so. I like moving it through, I just kind of have a feeling
Yeah.
that people could discuss it every day. Not doing.
Yeah.
There's talk about the land above, above the ocean, above living Louisville.
No, building the property, 40 acres.
I'm glad.
What about-
Oh, we still, yeah.
It's, yeah. Yeah.
No ocean's trying.
Good
evening,
to buy it. Yeah, everybody who lives there wants to buy it, I mean, it's only 700,000, which is really not much. Yeah, that's right. I will buy it too, I'll buy it.
I just did this on my, I think I wanna change my contacts in my work email. Apparently, I don't check my other one. It's a center of the yarn, yeah. Yeah, that's Aaron. Aaron does wanna do that one, but
Our need.
has things to me. Yeah, and I go, that's where you're going. I'm just gonna, yeah, then I can mark my work calendar for the right place, and I'm like. I have not been.
They're in agreement, they want to donate, help build it or whatever. We set that up, but then we need to.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Bye, Thomas. Then we need to.
Bye,
Have a so. Yeah, I
Stay.
So,
I did, I was like, we have a good relationship, and that was nice, and.
okay, what, I'm very confused.
For you guys, you need to create a fiscal aid for your.
Well, we don't go to 16, because I'm already,
And then they have to agree, and then they sign in an underling, under,
some,
yep. And then you guys start generating, you have a place to put money, you can start creating a money place,
Okay, so that's-
creating. You have a name. and then
Where's
you see-
nobody at? Where's nobody at? Where's nobody?
yeah.
So,
We literally just asked us.
you guys like to agree on that, and then obviously I think you have to go to like tax
Yeah.
people and get that worked out, now you have another fiscal piece.
Yeah.
And now you're a group, and maybe you have your own board, like.
We have.
I know you have it under that.
It's like this, like, you know, everyone's.
What?
As a,
But you're a group.
Yeah.
well, we are a nonprofit and, we're a specific kind of nonprofit, I forget what it was. No, we're not, we just signed up with the state as a nonprofit. Yeah, I'm a board director. But then we would have to also contact Succeed and tell them what we want to do and work with them.
Not if you're your own nonprofit though.
No, we don't need, well, we can start, well, we don't have a 501c3 though, we would need Succeed for that. Yeah.
So you gotta get that organized, get that, I mean, it'd be like incorporated, you're incorporated.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have a place, you have a bank account, so you can start raising funds,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Under that name.
Yes.
And that's like the beginning of just getting it started, and then people can donate to that.
Right.
If you have, and then, you know, you keep track and you give them needs, they want write-offs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But those are the things that you guys gotta work on internally.
Right. Yeah, we'll be talking.
You know, I don't know how to start this thing, so like straight.
You don't know how to start this.
No, I know how to, like, we're part of that now.
Like what you need.
Already in that, that's our, so we get a received tax base and get everything, get money, I think that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So the town, you know, gets sales tax, and that's all because we've incorporated here.
Incorporated.
So, like, you know, I think we should figure out.
I saw someone new putting up a card today.
Yeah, the military.
Recreation district, that should be a huge project just in itself, start a recreation district, you plan, get, start it, and then start, you know, figuring out. Cause you can get it, you can get the district going, and then you can create the mill levy later,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
that's right.
and another book,
Yeah.
as it develops.
I wanna, encourage the community to participate, but I want them to be really excited about it. And, introducing a military pursuit, I think would be discouraging to this community.
Yeah, I wouldn't do a mill levy, because we're already pretty heavy mill levy, I would wait until
Right,
you
exactly.
guys have something to go
We
to.
have something
Like
going.
a piece of land, and you're just like, I'm just not very still get the most district, your board members.
So, now it's gonna be switched, right? And so the land that